right, welcome to the show here. So I'm here with Cora Cristobal. She's the founder of Toronto Women's Club Institute and a seven-time best-selling author, award-winning author, transformational coach and mentor, speaker. The list goes on and on. Certified NLP trainer and practitioner, and real estate investors and realtor. Welcome, Cora.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. People don't know you, a little bit of your story, what got you into the business, and how you serve people as well.
So, I am an immigrant to Canada from the Philippines 23 years ago. And I came here with my then husband and four children. And when I came here, I was a CPA, certified public accountant. Of course, I was looking for a job as an accountant. Back home in the Philippines, I was a real estate broker. And after I became a CPA, then when you come to a new country, of course, you cannot become a realtor right away. It requires 2 years residence at that time. I don't know now. And in life, you also don't know what's coming, right? When we come to a new country, we are full of hope. We are looking for a better future for our children and all that, right? And I was not expecting my second daughter, who was then 14 or 15 years old, started to give us some problems. And that brought, to just make this story short, that ended up my then husband leaving Canada and went back to our original country, the Philippines. And he actually wanted everybody to go back to the Philippines. But then when I asked my four children, they were all teenagers. The eldest was, I think, 16 and the youngest was 9, two girls and two boys, with my second daughter being a problem daughter. So I asked them if they wanted to us to go back to the Philippines, and the poor children, all of them said no. They have learned to like Canada. That was after 2 years of coming to Canada. And in my entire 23 years of marriage, I'm always very obedient to my husband. You know how especially for us, our culture, we submit to our husband. And because my husband is a professional, he is a professional mechanical engineer, and he has been moving from one a company to another or being promoted. I'm always being obedient to my husband. But at that time, I have to consider my poor children, and it's very hard to be settling to a new country, and then in 2 years you have to go back again.
Right.
And I don't know, my instincts was telling me that where my children are, I have to be there as their mother. So I said to my then husband, I'm sorry, but I have to stick with my children. So that's how I ended the marriage. That's how I ended. It was not a good story to tell, but that the ending of the marriage became a turning point for me, where every time you sever a relationship, there is always that pain. It is very painful and very stressful, and I was really groping in the dark how a new immigrant and a woman, a mother like me of four children, would be able to start a new life on my own. And that led me for a few years. I didn't know what to do. I was making only less than $40,000 gross annual income, and I had a house. So I have a mortgage to pay and all the bills, plus I have to look after the four kids. But that forced me to be looking for new ways on how I can augment my income and improve my life. And for whatever, maybe my prayers have brought me to going to events, and there I met my mentor in 2015. I hired my mentor. I paid $10,000, which I took from my line of credit. For the very first time, I paid a mentor. I have previous mentors before, like my boss or my teachers, and even my parents could be my mentors. But an official business mentor where you pay that happened after I had go into a divorce, because my objective was to become a better real estate investor, just like when I was in the Philippines. But real estate in the Philippines is very different real estate in Canada. So I was not yet a real estate agent. I wanted to buy my second property with less than 40,000. How can I do that? Of course, I have some savings, but anyway, I found this mentor, and then later on, I became a real estate agent. Then I had my full-time job. I had my real estate. I was a real estate agent. I had my basement renovated and rented it out, and it paid for my mortgage. I was making real estate commission. I also became a private lender. Before I know it, I already have a total income that covers for the income of my husband with multiple sources of income. So I started to become creative, and of course I have to work very hard. But it changed the trajectory of my life, and it changed the way I look at things. And my mentor one day told me, Cora, create a women's club. I said, I don't have any experience with running a club. Why should I? And he said, because my mentor has his own real estate club. And he said that there are many women with problems that are coming to him. And why don't you put up your club so you can take care of them? So it took me some time before I can convince myself that I can do it. And again, here I am challenged in putting up a new club in order to help women with issues and challenges in their life. So anyway, end of the story, February 17, 2017, I put up my club with an inaugural launching at, I think it was Novotel Hotel in front of Square One. I think it is now called Delta Marriott. You know how the hotels are buying other hotels. So I remember it was family day, the very first family day, and I thought not many people will be coming to the launching of the Toronto Women's Club, but I had 78 people came, and 23 people signed up as founding members. You know, the very first members who sign up are called founding members. So that's the story of the Toronto Women's Club. And from the Toronto Women's Club, simultaneously I learned how to write books. And my first book was Journey to a New You, The 12 Habits to a Happy and Successful Life. I went to a boot camp, a writing boot camp, and I learned how to write books. The very first book I wrote, I completed that in 1 month. It is very hard. It is very hard to write a book. I didn't know what I'm going to write. I didn't know what is the title. But you know, I from there I learned that when you think and when you are really very passionate about what you do. So I learned so many things on my own, and of course I also have my mentor, and then I went to training, and I went to boot camps, and then I became an author. In my first year of writing a book in 2017, I launched and published actually 3 books. The first one was Journey to a New You, The 12 Habits to a Happy and Successful Life. The second one is The Authorities, where I co-wrote with Dr. John Gray, Marcy Shimoff, and Raymond Aaron. And the third book is The Secret to Real Estate Wealth, where I am one of the contributors in an anthology in December. And because of that, many people came to know me on how I was able to write a book. I was also not expecting it because some people cannot even write a book for 5 years or 10 years, but I was able to write and co-write 3 books in 1 year. And I was fully employed at the time. So I was not expecting it to be that I will be very fast and I was accomplishing these things. And then after that, with what my mentor has seen in me, he invited me to speak at the events, at his events, and invited me to speak at other events. So that's how I became a speaker. So now in like 3 years, I was founder of the Toronto Women's Club. I became best-selling author. I became founder of the Toronto Women's Club, and I became a speaker in no time at all. To be honest, being a real estate agent, I was also a real estate agent. I I was not making as many real estate transactions as much because I was already busy doing other things. But when people finds out that I am a real estate agent, they will naturally are drawn to me because people who are coming to my events and knowing that I have done all of that in such a short time, and they, you know how it is in real estate, people wants to do business with people they like and trust, right? So immediately, I was not really advertising myself. People are naturally drawn to me to learn how I did things. So they want to become a writer, an author, or when they want to learn also how to invest in real estate because I learned how to become a real estate investor not only in Canada but also learn how to buy US real estate at the time when the prices of after the recession in Canada. So my mentor also taught me how to buy real estate in Florida and Ohio. So that's in a nutshell what happened to me in 2017 up to even before the COVID, and of course during COVID, when we were locked down, all the 14, I have 14 events that were canceled. So then I started to do what you call that virtual events, and also it was also during the lockdown that the Science of Getting Rich book was born.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, there's a lot to unpack. Seems like, first of all, you've leveraged the pain to grow and make some challenging decisions, being forced as a new immigrant to learn and grow and to choose your family over anything else, as well as taking up your own path. What was the power of a mentor there when it comes to allowing you to take this path of inspiring you to grow the women's club, to find it and to speak at these events and then start becoming an author as well? Like, what was that power of that mentor? What did they do to help guide you into that?
Yes, yes, you said it right. There is really the power of a mentor because imagine without the mentor, I am very sure I would not have done it. The mentor, the mentor is gives me actually the mentor is fast tracks your success, right? Because a mentor has been there, has been successful. When he asked me to put up a club, because he has already his club. No, nobody can mentor me better than somebody who's already put up a club. I would not also probably have taken the risk of putting up a club if my mentor does not have a successful running club. So he has already a successful club. He is already an international speaker, and he is not only a best selling author, but he is also running a publishing company. He runs his own publishing company. And also, what else do I have to say? He is also a successful real estate investor. So everything that he is, I became everything that he is. So you have to it is important to get a mentor who has been successful and who has done whatever you want to do, because there are many kinds of mentor. You can have a mentor in business, you can have a mentor in health, you can have a mentor in writing a book, in a mentor in being a successful real estate investor. So you want to make sure that you will get the right mentor who has already done and who has done whatever you want to become, right? So when I hired this mentor, I only wanted to become a real estate investor, and I didn't know that he is everything else other than a real estate investor. So I became somebody just like him, and many people say that Cora is just like the mini or the small my mentor, right? So I became like a clone of my mentor. So that a mentor will speed up and fast track your success.
So it's almost like you leveraged a little bit of their influence, but also it you borrowed their belief to allow you to set a path for you to do the women's club, create a great, like you said, it was almost like a natural progression into real estate investing and real estate because you had an interest in it, you had a passion, you're impacting these women that actually signed up. It seems like people actually came to it and showed an interest in it. and then they're drawn to you as a business owner and as a realtor in the area because of what you bring to the table and also your story. Now, I know in the book you talked a lot about your story, overcoming adversity. Do you have any examples that you could share, and what that ties into the book too with Science of Getting Rich? Because I know you shared really cool stories. There was one about you putting something in your jacket that said financial freedom, as a badge or something to that effect. It was really, really neat. If you could share maybe your story to inspire some of the people that are listening today, maybe they want to find a mentor, they'd like to be inspired. They're not sure if they're ready to, they want to do a book, they don't know how to start. What do you have to say, when it comes to those particular stories to inspire someone, especially when it relates to the book too?
Our wealth creation partner, 337. 337 creates wealth for entrepreneurs. They've used financial structuring to 10x families' net worth. Now we show others how to do it. They make rich entrepreneurial families richer. For more information, visit 337.com to learn more.
Yes, I have so many stories I have written, but let me think about which. I think I already mentioned that when, for example, if you want to do something and you are not sure about it, right? And at the time, you consistently, when you consistently think about it, there is a saying, thought becomes things.
Yes,
Have you heard about it?
absolutely.
Thought becomes things because from the thought, you will have a feeling. From the feeling, you will take an action. And from an action, you will produce a result. So everything starts from the mindset. Everything is a matter of mindset. I would like to share that I was really obsessed in improving my life. And I would also mention the book Think and Grow Rich. If you are familiar with the Think and Grow Rich,
Great book.
I
Yes.
think it is chapter 2, that when you want something, you have an ambition, or you want to do something, you must have a desire and be obsessed with it.
Yes, I agree with that.
It must be a strong desire, not only a desire. It cannot be a lukewarm desire
Yeah.
or a desire that is not strong enough. You must be obsessed with it. You must be passionate about it. Because the moment you put some doubt, now you want it and later on you will doubt, the negative will overrule the positive. So we have to be careful on our thoughts. Because for me, from the time I was small, and not only when I had this challenge when I went to Canada, I was very, very sure from the time I was small, I already put in my mind that I am going to be rich. That I don't want to ever go back to being miserable
Love
and
that.
poor, because I wrote that story that I was very, I come from a very poor family, and all my earlier my brothers and sisters before me, all of them did not finish university. I was the very first one who completed university. I was very sure about my dream. I was very sure about my ambition. I was very sure. At the age of 7, I was in grade 1. I already saw how hard it was for my parents. They could not even support me for my education. But I put it in my mind that I'm going to study and my education is going to be my ticket, and I'm going to leave this miserable place, and I'm going to get out of this place, and I'm going to the big city, and I'm going to travel around the world. And when I see an airplane flying, I will say, one day I'm going. And everything that I thought happened because that is what I put in my mind. So thoughts become things. From thoughts, you have the emotion, and the emotion to action, and action to results. So I want to emphasize that to our listeners and our your
Audience.
our
Yep.
yes, our communities, that anything is possible regardless of where you are in your life. And also age also doesn't matter. because for some they will say, "Oh, I'm too old," and some people will say, "Oh, I'm too young," and somebody will say, "Oh, I can't do it." We have to be very careful about the things that we say to ourselves and our thoughts. It's very important because I also happen to be an neurolinguistics programming, and that is why our neurology or how the mind thinks is very critical in what happens to our life.
So clearly, it seemed like because I know the programming leads to the thoughts and the feelings and the actions and the results. And yet, maybe the programming wasn't there. You said you came from a family that didn't have much. There was a lot of scarcity thinking.
Mhm.
There's a lot of interesting stories about. Was it fair to say that the desire was stronger at a young age to escape that? That you found a way, and the supply was already there, and you found a way to overcome that programming. What did that feel like?
Yes, there are also instances in my life where poverty, embarrassment, like when my father borrowed money from my aunt to pay my tuition, and my aunt declined. Those embarrassment actually motivated me. The pain, the embarrassment, the difficulties became my motivation. It pushes me. It motivated me. It challenged me. Actually, I took it as a challenge that hey, I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. I don't want to be poor again, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, so that I am not going ever again to be always begging for money, because yes, I had that scarcity mindset because really money was scarce, but I'm going to do something, so I'm going to change scarcity to abundance.
So you made a decision. It's funny because I was reading the other day that this decision is like the word to cut other options off, right? So you're making a decision to cut everything else off and focus on one thing. So that must have led you down a path of learning about how the mind works and maybe interest in the success and how you formed a success pattern and studying that pattern. I'd love to dive in at some point about that too. So it seems like then you've leveraged the pain and even the embarrassment of those moments to grow and catapult yourself to become a better example and a better inspire others as well to do the same thing then, right? That's fair to say?
Yes,
It's amazing.
absolutely.
So when you think about, well, let's actually just, there's so many things to unpack, but when you think about the science of getting rich, what are some key principles that you'd like to impart on some of the listeners here about, that they can apply, that they should know? I mean, I know one is where the desire is strong, the supply is there, and a lot has to do with the mind. Like you said, it's an energy and how it attracts things to you and people. What are some things that you'd like to share when it comes to that book? I know you were authored in that book, so
There are several highlights in the book. Actually, I wrote top 11 principles, but for purposes of time, I can only
of
mention
course I
it.
know you're not going to go through
Yeah.
everything.
And number one is to create, not to compete. Create, not to compete. Example, I created Toronto Women's Club. Nobody, I, I had no experience. I started from zero. I did not even have any social media accounts. I did not know marketing. How come I was able to do that? So when people say, I can't do it, I had no experience, I had no money, you, if, if there is the desire, the universe is going to provide you with everything that you need. You don't have to have everything now in order to accomplish something. So create and not compete. Of course, healthy competition is always good, but you don't even have to worry about somebody else. Oh, there's already an existing women's club, because yours can be different. So create and not compete. And you can create anything that you want as long as the objective and the goal is for the common good. And God will take care of everything that you need. You don't have to have everything. I want to emphasize the point that you don't have to wait for the perfect time. I never waited for the perfect time. I just do it. So just do it. And if you make a mistake, you analyze what went wrong and how you can improve it. You will grow and develop it along the way. So that's number one. Second is give a value higher than the money that you get. For example, you are a realtor, Sam, right?
Yep.
When
Yep.
we,
Waterloo
when,
region. Yep.
yes, we are. You are a realtor, and when you are being paid a commission, let's say you are being given a commission of 2.5%. We want to make sure that the value that we give is at least double what you are being paid for. And for most people, they are trying to cheat. They want to get more money
Yeah. No, that
for
doesn't
the
work.
value that they are giving. So one of the principles in the science of getting rich is to give a higher value what we are giving that what we are receiving in return.
Selling your home during tough times, whether you're downsizing, divorce, or debt, we understand the unique challenges you're facing. Introducing our specialized real estate solution to help you navigate these difficult times with ease. Selling a home can be overwhelming, and yet our experiencer team will guide you through the process, providing personalized strategies to maximize your home's value. Whether you're downsizing, going through a divorce, facing debt, we'll help you sell your home and start anew. Don't let these challenges define your selling experience. Let us turn them into opportunities. Visit our website at affluenceregroup.com to learn more.
Always be exceptional and make sure we are giving more value. It's not the other way around. Let's not cheat our customers.
And I feel like that feeds into an abundance way of thinking, and they feed each other, right? Because when you feel there's an abundance, you're going to give more value, you're going to receive more, your income and impact
Mm.
as a result go up. So I think that's fantastic. Great advice.
Yes, the other one is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is the doorway to heaven. Gratitude is the doorway to receiving more abundance. The more you the more you thank, the more you are going to give to get in return, to receive in return. Because it doesn't matter, it is my God may be different from your God, and this is not about religion. The science of getting rich says everything comes from one source. Everything comes from one source. We can call it universe, we can call it infinite intelligence, we can call it God, we can call it Allah, we can call it infinite intelligence, whatever, but everything comes from one source. And the more you are thankful every day, the more you are going to receive in return. I have a gratitude journal, which I write my gratitude every day in the morning and the evening. When you develop a habit like that, you will never run out of what you need, because whenever you are grateful for, you are always focusing on the positive. You are not focusing on the negative, and you are not focusing on what you do not have, but what you have. Oprah Winfrey says, focus on what you have. If you focus on what you do not have, you will never have enough. And that is why a lot of people feels miserable and feels they don't have enough, because they are focusing on what they do not have. You focus on what you have and be thankful for what you have.
And to your point, I feel like, and I was reading from Robin Sharma that when you're writing it, and I believe in it too, I do it every day. When you're writing it, it imprints in your subconscious mind, doesn't it? When you're
Yes,
writing it, it imprints in your subconscious mind. So that
yes.
wiring and what you look for, right? Selective
Thank,
attention.
thank you for saying that. That's right. You are putting that in your subconscious mind.
And we did a session with David Nagel, and he talked about the subconscious mind is such a powerful thing. It's going to attract you to your goals. It's going to have a selective attention to your goals, like a tape recorder of everything you've gone through, right? So your internal.
Yes, I wanted to add
Yeah, please.
and tell people, not many people knows that we have two parts of our mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the goal setter, and the subconscious mind is the goal getter.
Love it.
So you think about it, how important is the subconscious? 95% of what we get in life is is done by the subconscious mind. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
By the subconscious.
Does
So
that
if you
also bleed into your identity as well? that kind of imprints in your identity and who you think you are and who you show up as. Is that right? Too?
Yeah, yes. Imagine when you sleep. If you sleep with happy thoughts, because the subconscious mind works 24 hours a day even when you are sleeping. The conscious mind is only when you are awake. Imagine how many hours, at least 8 hours you are sleeping, plus the waking hours that you are using your mind subconsciously. So it is very important that you will always have positive thoughts. It is normal as a human being to have negative thoughts because we are still human, but we must be very quick in shifting it right away, in sweet in what you call it,
Observing.
instantly changing it. Yeah,
Yeah, observing
because
it.
yeah,
I remember when they were saying something about when you're meditating, you're able to observe those thoughts and you're able to let them go, and so they don't have power over you, and you can end up either choosing something else or letting go of a more negative thought, so then you can allow more gratitude to come in. When you go to sleep, then I mean, I know, do you sometimes write a question to yourself, like to the answer in your subconscious mind at night? I know that some people talked about that. Is that powerful in your subconscious mind then before you go to bed when it comes to abundance thinking, and so on?
yes. I would advise people to write what happened during the day that they are thankful for. At least 5 things. Have a notebook and write what are at least 5 things that happen in that day that you realize, even the bad things. You will be thankful, even the not so good things. You must be oh, I should have done this better. Thank you for making me realize that I could have done better. Right? So we write it. So because when you sleep with that, with gratitude in your heart, it goes into your neurology neurology in your mind, in your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind will take it at its par value. The subconscious mind does not filter. It does not know what is right or wrong. It will
Mhm.
take it as your instruction. Can you imagine that? That's how powerful
Yeah,
it is.
it is. It doesn't know the difference, like you said, between reality and not reality, so
Yes, it
you
doesn't
can
know what is
experience
real
it.
and not.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Mhm.
That's really powerful. So some of these really great things about the science of getting rich, and what inspired you to go on that journey to write it, and is there anything else that you'd like to share from that book that you think is super powerful? It's going to help someone up leveling their thinking, their subconscious mind, and just anything else you'd like to share about that as well.
Well, I was encouraged to write The Science of Getting Rich because of the lockdown. There was nothing to do at that time. I was shocked, just like everybody else when the lockdown happened. And I used to do events. 14 events I mentioned was canceled, and there I was not sure how I was going to proceed. We were all scared, right? So that's one. There was an opportunity. Second is there was somebody who offered it to me to co-write this book with him, and that was my mentor. The so I said, well, this is better than me not doing anything, right? So, and I have written several books already. And so I gave myself a chance to write. This is the original. This is less than 100 pages. And when I read it, I was really inspired to rewrite it. The words in that book, the English that was used in the original book is very hard to understand.
Yeah.
So first, that there was that opportunity, there was the time and opportunity, and there was opportunity to co-write it with my mentor who has a publishing company. So for me to say no is like there is really no reason for me to say no. Everything was there. The opportunity, they say when the opportunity strikes, you better grab it because the opportunity might not happen again. So
Yeah.
I took the opportunity and I said, this is very timely. lockdown. I have all the time, and I have a mentor who teach me how to write. He's going to publish it. We will make it a best-selling book, and we are going to improve it, and we improve it. You saw the how it was written. To make it, we simplified it. We make it in simpler, more simple English, and then we had added like best best quotations and all that, right? So what's happened in the science of getting rich. So the the lesson that I would like to share is there are really so many opportunities that are present in our life. We have to be open to it. And when people say, "Oh, I can't do it," "Oh, it's hard," my message is growth and improvement is always outside our comfort zone.
Yeah, I agree with you because if
Always.
you set that limitation, it's going to make you look for more limitation, and it becomes things, right? You're saying I'm not able to, or maybe I haven't done this yet, rather than I'm not able to or I can't, right? That's definitely limiting language, right?
Yes.
You almost hear someone's mindset or beliefs when they start speaking, right? How do they speak about something? How do they view something? Do they see it as happening for them or to them, right? I think that's a big principle that you're talking about. Are there any things that when you read the book, you said, I really want to change this, or I really want to add this, maybe a personal story that resonates, that anything that you think about? I mean, there's some amazing things you talked about in the book, and we'll link your books as well, because I think there's some great messaging there.
What else did I write in the book?
Or even the journey of a new you. I mean, what inspired that one? What was some key messaging behind that? That seems like an interesting one. I actually haven't read that yet.
Okay, the journey to a new you, let me speak a little bit about it. Journey to a new you, the 12 habits to a happy and successful life. When I was already doing all these things, despite despite me being a new immigrant, despite me being a single mother, despite me having not enough money, despite there are so many obstacles, right? But what I did is I look at the opportunity and not the obstacles. I look at the solution and not the problem. So when I was able to do that, I said, what is it that makes me different from the other women? Because I see, especially women, we know, I studied women have different psychology than men. And I say women can become very powerful and we can support our men if only we can change how we think and also what are my habits. So I focus on my habits. And one of my biggest, most powerful habits is waking up early in the morning. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. When I was writing the book, I have to wake up 2 hours earlier. So I have 2 hours of writing every day. I cannot say I do not have time because I have a full-time job. Everybody goes to work at 9 to 5. So we all have 24 hours a day. Is there anybody here among us who has more than 24 hours a day and 7 days a week? How I was able to do all of this with the same time, and even I have a very unfortunate situation where I have 4 children to look after and do everything. And some women even have their husband, and I don't have the luxury of that. How come? It's all about your attitude, your mindset, and how you manage your time. All I have to do is to wake up 2 hours earlier, and 5 o'clock is already early. I have to wake up earlier than 5 o'clock. And that's how I was able to write the book, The Journey to a New You. In 30 days, I was waking up every 3 o'clock in the morning because there is a deadline for me to submit my manuscript. So I am also a manager. I happen to be a manager. So I did how do you call that when you count it back? Reverse engineer. I reverse engineer it. This is the due date. This is the launching date. So I have to go back in my time. How can I do that? So I have to manage my time. I reverse engineer it. So that's the story of the journey to a new you and why I thought about the 12 habits.
So did you
What
get
are my
into
habits?
when you were getting up early, were you getting able to get into that white space, that flow, that creative space? And when you got up early, what was it about maybe connecting with universe or just your goals and intention? What was magical about that versus getting up at, a decent hour and still working versus getting up early and really connecting with yourself in the quiet? What would you say?
Yes, I will. I will. I'm now. I am going to share with you all my secrets. Some of my secrets.
Share.
Waking up early is not only waking up early. What do you do with waking up early?
Great.
And this is my routine. When I wake up early at 5 o'clock, I will go out of my house and walk for at least 20 minutes. And what do I do while walking? This is the time when I connect with God. I connect with God. Number one, when I walk, I pray and I do my meditation and I say affirmations. Affirmations. Remember, everything that you dictate to your unconscious mind is what is going to there is a word.
Program yourself. Program
It
yourself.
permeates in the universe.
Yeah.
In the science of getting rich, there is a long um like a praise when my thoughts permeates in the universe.
I love that.
Okay, it permeates. This is how the subconscious mind works in your favor, so it is important. So, and why wake up early is because everybody else is sleeping. The whole world is practically sleeping.
Mhm.
Therefore, you can focus on yourself and how you communicate with God, with the universe. And this is when you put in all your intentions on what you want to happen. For example, I'll give you my I am strong, able, and calm. I say that every morning. Imagine when you say to yourself, I am strong, able, and calm. I am strong, able, and calm. I am strong, able, and calm. What happens? I became strong, able, and calm. Do you say to yourself, I'm stupid, I cannot do it, I'm ugly, then you become stupid and ugly.
That
So,
reminds me of a saying that the veil is the thinnest, right? It's almost like you get up into that.
yeah,
There's no, that you can communicate with the higher powers and the
imagine
consciousness.
if I say, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. Can you see? And when you say it with with emotions, with strong feelings, it must be a combination of your thoughts and strong feelings. With no hesitation, without a doubt, with strong belief, with profound faith that you are going to be strong, able, and calm. If you say, I'm going to produce $10 million this month, produce $10 million this month, $10 million this month, whatever your goal is, then you will be surprised why clients will be coming up to you and they're coming from nowhere. You don't even know. Referrals are coming and they're easy to close and so many things positive will happen because that is what you put in your subconscious mind. That's the power. Of course, you have to do something, right? It's
Yeah.
not like you say this to yourself and you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
But when you say it, everything becomes magical.
I feel like you're more likely to take the action and you're more likely to commit and believe in it so you can overcome any beliefs. And like you
Exactly.
said, your attitude is your beliefs and your programs and all those things change so you become a different person that
Mm,
creates that result, I guess. Yeah.
yes.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Well, we got a couple minutes left. I thought I'd first of all see if you anything you'd like to share with our audience. But one other thing I'd like to ask you is in becoming a best-selling author, Myron Golden, remember saying something that he had a coach to help him do that. What are some tips with someone that feels that it's not in their realm, they shouldn't do it? Why should they do it? Um, what would a coach or a mentor in that avenue share with someone like you that's helped you, or what can you share with our audience that maybe is interested in doing something like that?
Whatever you want, whatever you want, you can do anything and get anything as long as you firmly believe you can do it. Abundance is our birthright. God wants you to be happy, successful, and rich. This is what I can say. It is in the science of getting rich. It is actually metaphysics, but I want to tell you that we are a spirit inside a physical body. It's not the other way around. It means to say that God is within us. And when God is within us, God wants you to be rich, happy, and successful. And anything and everything is possible. And do not even doubt or hesitate. This is metaphysics. This is magical. I want also to share that we, as a human being, is a system of 4 bodies. Number 1, the physical body. Number 2, the mental, which is the brain. Number 3, the heart, which is the emotional. And lastly is the spirit, which is our soul. If all of them are working together as one system, everything will work in your favor. I have tested it and I have proven it to myself when I have no money and I put all my faith and I say that you are going to provide and I can do it. Within so many number days ahead, I will have money. This is magic. This is not a joke. I don't have to buy lottery tickets because buying lottery tickets is not we are not relying because it will only buying lottery tickets. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is like teaching you how to become lazy because
Yeah. It's a microwave mentality. Microwave
yeah,
mentality.
yes, it is a scarcity mentality.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The science of getting rich says that in order for you to use your full potential, it is a matter of serving, maximize your full potential. We are being paid for the problem that we solve.
And it also
And you
says, I
have,
think, that you don't believe that you can actually serve in the universe or provide value, or you have to rely on something else rather than yourself, right? When you're buying it.
yes,
Is that
yes.
fair?
That is why we do not support
Yeah.
buying lottery tickets. It's just like you are so desperate that you cannot do anything.
Right.
Because
Fairies are
the
going down.
reality is we have infinite all of us have infinite potentials and possibilities.
So
And
it's almost like, sorry to interrupt you, but I remember when I think Danielle mentioned this, she said, or it was someone, she said, usually you know when you're ready for a step when you feel like something's missing or your soul's calling for something more. So it's almost like that's a calling and you're becoming a little more aware to follow that. That's more of a purpose in your path. Yeah. Is that fair to say?
exactly, just there will be some things will happen in your life talking about purpose. And many people are always looking for their purpose. It is okay at one point in our life when we seem not to know our purpose. Just like me, it comes in a form of like when my husband had to leave. It has something like it has to happen. I'm not saying that it is good that my husband left, but God will find a way to open up to your purpose. You will know that, you will see that. And that is why we need to meditate and pray. We need to meditate and pray and embrace the things that happen in our life because God will have his ways of showing you the way to the right path.
I
And
absolutely love
our
that.
path will all be different. In my case, the path was shown to me when that happened, when that my husband has to leave. And do not blame or do not get angry. Some people get angry to God. Why me? And I used to be like that. Why me? I am not a bad person. And then later on, we will realize, oh, that's why. It has to happen. It happened because There is a reason for that. And that is God's way of showing us the path to making our purpose. There is everybody has a purpose in life. And our job is to find it.
It's almost like it's guiding you to a divine purpose, another message that you wouldn't have seen. And
Yes,
almost like you said, I remember it's the law of sacrifice, right? Something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. So it's almost bringing you to something else. Yeah.
yes, yes,
I love that.
yes. Sacrifice. We need to sacrifice.
I love that. Well, we're going to link to your books. Make sure you send me a message so I can have that in the show notes, your books, if they're available to purchase. I think your book is amazing. I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to read the other one too, Journey to New You. I think that's fantastic. Where can people find you? And we'll link to you as well. But thanks for jumping on, Cora. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, I have a website, torontowomensclub.com, torontowomensclub.com. The second one is Cora transformation.com. That's for my NLP, Cora Center of Transformation.com. And lastly, you can always email me, Cora at coracristobal.com. And of course, when you Google me, Cora Cristobal, it will lead you to YouTube and my websites and my social media. So I'd love to talk to you.
Wonderful. We'd love to talk to you too. And it's been amazing, inspiring, very moving. And I've learned a lot being on this call with you. So thank you so much for gracing us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.